Anyhow, I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've streamed. Anyhow. So, okay, like I said, I've got to check my streams here. Just bear with me here. You know, when you don't do something for a while, you sort of start to lose it. G'day, Ghost Rider. How you going, mate? I hope you can hear everything. Is everything working? But here we are in lovely Sydney. We're at gate, I'm not sure, gate 36. Yep, gate 36 there. We're going to go to the sunny Gold Coast. I just bought the Gold Coast scenery the other day. Now, what's the purpose? Oh, one of my subscribers, I won't mention any names, says Sim, but he said, yeah, pushing tin, a YouTuber, an aspiring pilot. Well, considering the way I've done these streams, or last few streams in piloting, it's been pretty RS. Anyhow, the purpose of the stream, what's the whole idea of it? Well, it's really to teach people that want to enter into VATSIM environment, flying the jets, because most young blokes out there are sort of a bit overwhelmed with what to do on VATSIM and what to say and even how to fly the aircraft. Young kids, they're not bothered reading the manuals or anything like that. So anyhow, yeah, Ghost Ride, I'm good. I'm very good. I've got my glass of Chardonnay, and the whole idea of this stream is not to actually. I'm not a pilot. It's not really how to fly or in-depth analysis of how to fly the aircraft. It's just what I do, what I've learnt. I have a broad understanding of the systems. Goodbye, mate, or good day. Has X. How you going, mate? Anyhow, so this is really an introduction to get you started into VATSIM, what to say, and just setting up your aircraft, flight planning. So I'll just take you through the whole process, but as you can see, there's a Sydney Tower in the background there. So what we're going to do, we're going to go up to the Gold Coast, and like I said, we're going to go through the whole process, flight planning and all that. So, what's the first thing we need to do? Well, like any good thing, you've got to have a good flight plan. G'day. Okay, so let's start. Now, these days, the go-to software these days is a thing called SimBrief. Now, what I want to show you is when you're planning via SimBrief, this is my virtual airline. So I'm with Skyteam. There we go. It says Sydney there. So let's go to SimBrief, because everyone goes to SimBrief, right? So we got velocity, what are we, 539. So hopefully we're going to be departing Sydney. That's the ICAO. And we're going to the Gold Coast. So it's YBCG. Now we're going to be flying the Airbus 737 from PMDG. It's a beautiful aircraft. And I won't get into it, but this is the way I've configured the aircraft, PMDG 78, and you can open the airframe editor and sort of all that. The cost index for Virgin from a good source is 19. What is a cost index? It's a sort of a ratio between the cost of fuel and the time that it takes you to get to a destination. So the higher the cost of index, higher the CO cost index, the quicker you get to your destination, the more fuel you'll burn. The lower, so you find the low cost airfare air carriers, they all got low cost indexes. Okay, so now you have a look here. We're going to, Simbrief says runway 34 left, and we're going to be arriving at the Gold Coast runway 14. Okay, and this is and you think, well, that looks all right. Yep, okay. Well, there's only one problem. As it so happens, velocity 539, this is a real world flight that velocity 539 did at 6 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Time. If you have a look here, departed. Now if we zoom right in here, that took off from runway 34 right, and you think, well, why runway 34 right? Well, let's have a look. If you go to Sydney and you look at SIDS, you have a look at our first waypoint, it's Awesome. So if you look at the SIDS for runway 34 right, you can see here the Awesome 1 departure. So for 34 right, it fits in beautifully with our flight plan. Now, if we take off from runway 34 left, right, there is nothing that's connecting Awesome. We can, the closer we can do is we can, hey, so Sydney Light Rail, hey, King, that's right, how's it going, mate? You can write, I'm not gonna live that down, you can write that one down. How's it going, HD Perth Aviation? Yeah, so if you go take off from runway 34 left, as Simbrief says, you can probably get to Awesome, and as you have a look here, you have a look for aircraft cleared via Awesome, Y93 or Yankee 193 Bander, it gets us there, but you've got to have radar vectors. Whereas if we take off from runway 34 right, we don't have to muck around and piss fart around for vectors or anything. So that's why I always say don't trust Simbrief. So you have to just, and it says select new SIDS and stars. So always look at Be Critical and see how your flight plan fits in with any SIDS or stars. Okay, so when we get to, and as we get up to Burnie, you'll see it says Burnie to Victor. Well, let's have a look, shall we? So we go to Gold Coast and mate, Sydney Light, I'm starting to become a controller. So did you get in, mate? Sydney Light, mate, I'll tell you, it's a great job. That's exactly right. Simbrief ain't gospel, mate. You're trying to get me back, aren't you, sis? Oh, dear. Are we going to go to and fro on this, mate? Anyhow, I got the shardy. Hey, bro, how you going, KW Sim? So, anyhow, oh, God. Did I tell you the one? No, let's not get distracted. Come on, don't be like that. Now, we go to the Gold Coast. Now, having beautifully broken my concentration, Seth, thanks a lot. Okay, we've got Burnie here, and we somehow got to fit Burnie into a star. Right, let's go. Let's go look for Gold Coast. What's my advice for an air traffic controller? Stay ahead of the game, mate. Learn as much as you can. Absorb everything you read. And just maintain a cool head. Understand everything that you read and ask lots and lots and lots and lots of questions. I am starting as well, but the theory. Okay, pushing 10, now I'm starting to become a VAT sim. No, not in real life. Ah, right. Okay. See, I had HSC background, so for me it became rather... what would be the best... Learn how to control... Well, that only comes with experience. Learn how to control and not just rote. You know, like... Understand what it means to control aircraft rather than, you know, when you do your clear for takeoff, clear to land, or always think one step ahead. Like, for example, if an aircraft's on final and he's going to take off and he's going to exit or he's going to land long, make sure that you haven't done another aircraft that's going to go, who's taxiing it doesn't, let's say, for example, you're at Melbourne, then there's a classic case where an aircraft lands on runway 16 and taxis out by Echo. He's managed to really land short and Echo, and then you've got another aircraft taxiing by Echo and you get the nose to nose. But just stay ahead of the game and always ask the question, what's going to happen next? That's probably the best advice. Always be asking, what's going to happen next? It's like piloting. Always ask, they say keep ahead of the game. Always ask. Always think, okay, and that's when I was learning. You always think to yourself, okay, I expect this guy, and it becomes more sort of as you do your approach controlling, it becomes more relevant then. You'll always think, okay, I expect this guy to call me up, reaching this level. I expect now this guy, he wants a clearance to take off, and now I'm expecting this guy. So always stay ahead of the game. Always don't sit there, fat, dumb and happy. I remember one of my teachers said, don't sit there looking fat, dumb and happy. So stay ahead of the game. Get your head around the theory and sort of, how you going, learning to fly? All these names. I don't know, how many people I got on, I don't know, I can't see. Where do I find that out? Anyhow, did we get to the Gold Coast yet? No, we didn't get to the Gold Coast. So anyhow, we want to find out how do we get our... Okay, so there you go. We got the Bernie 2 Alpha arrival. Okay, so you look at that. Oh, by the way, this is the 4K screen. I've spoiled myself. I don't know how... G'day, Tom. How you going, mate? So anyhow, and we got... I love this. Look at this. Look at this waypoint, chook. And fickle chook. Okay, so you got Bernie, and then with Bernie, you either got, if a runway 14, you can read down there, tracks the RMP Zulu, NDB VOR runway, or ILS Zulu. Well, being a glutton for punishment, I'm going to do the RMP Zulu. So we'll have a look at the RMP Zulu, and there it is there. And you can see that the whole thing fits beautifully together, because you could see from the last one, Keegan was the end point of the star. I don't know if you remember that, but you remember that I clicked the wrong one. You have a look here. Keegan up here is the end point of the star. So ideally then you want the beginning of your approach is to be this end of your star, if that makes sense. So you see Keegan is the end of your star. So now you want something that attaches to that star. So the RMP Zulu does that beautifully. And so does the ILS, but like I said, I'm a glutton for punishment. So let's see if I can stuff this RMP up. So there's the RMP, and that brings us down to 670. We're on LNAV. We're not on VNAV, so that's interesting. So we've got to round that up to 700, but I'll get onto that later on. Anyhow, so here we are, beautiful Sydney. This is payware scenery. So, yeah, Tom, I've got it right here now, mate. I'm using the honeycomb yoke and throttle right now, mate. Now, what's the news? I heard I got 5 watching. Woohoo! Woohoo! That deserves another drink, if I could say so myself. fine stuff, better than that bloody piss-weak chai tea that I've been drinking. God, actually a bit of a crisis to develop. According to the suppliers, because there's been a bit of a shit fight with DP World and the Wharfies, a whole lot of stuff has been stored away in the warehouse or whatever, and that's forgot to look at 2 aircraft. I was too focused on clearances. It's so hard to predict if you can fit. It'll come with clearance, Sydney to Light. Yeah, but whatever you do, don't get focused on one thing. I know it's easy for me to say because I've had shitloads of experience. So, you know, it's easy for me to say. Because the experience, you know, once you sort of know what to expect, it's easy. Pushing 10, you're a star for the advice. Thanks, mate. Gee, the Sydney looks impressive, doesn't it? Anyhow, yeah, so it'll come with experience, I know, and you'll make it. Hey, g'day, Aviation Chris. Hey, he's the man. He taught me the RNAV. He kindly sent me a video. Went out of his way to make a video doing the RNAV to runway 34 in Melbourne, because I thought, what am I doing wrong? So Aviation Chris has probably done more flights in the 737 than I've had hot dinners. I can tell you right now. He lives and breathes 737s. I think he's probably got a tattoo emblazoned somewhere on his appendages. Oh, that's not what I meant to say, sorry. He's probably got Boeing tattooed somewhere. Oh, 10, mate, I says, cop that. I'm ahead of says. He only got up to 9 today. Anyhow, like I said, this is not about flying. You know, there's real pilots out there who'll tell you all about the 737. This is for the person who wants to get into VATSIM, wants to know what to say. I'll give you a rundown of what to do on the 73 to make your flight go, dare I say it, smoothly, until it comes to the point I've got to land. Then it might be all. But I can guarantee you 75% of the video will be educational. The part where I land, well, you know, could be a bit of a shit fight. Anyhow, without further ado, now, I'm not going to do this as per the real world, like, you know, stickler for checking fuses, because the real world, they do their walk around and they do all sorts of things. This is purely so it gets you into VATSIM, how to fly the 737, what to do, and all that sort of stuff. So it's, now if you just excuse me if I've got, okay, so I'm just starting up my okay, so g'day Dave Bass. I love this air. Well, let's have a look. That's a good, because at the end of the day, Sydney Tower's on. Okay, Alex D is on. How do I know? Because a thing called VATSpy, which a lot more pilots should use. It's this thing here. You can see Sydney Tower's on 120.5 and the ATIS is 126.25. Okay, so what's first? And really, you know, when I was learning, you try to remember, but, you know, believe it or not, there's a way. You weren't subscribed, Tom? Oh, mate, oh, geez, I'll take another sip of Chardonnay now. Actually, no, it's over I got me Chardonnay on the right and the box of tranquilizers on me left. I think I'll go to the tranquilizers, I think. Tom, what are you doing to me? I need 1,000 subscribers. I've got to pay the alimony somehow, mate. Bass as in GTR. GT. Well, let's have a look, shall we? We'll probably will be, because at the end of the day, yeah, so we can see Alex D is on 120.5. Okay, but let's get going, and all right, first thing we need to do is you need to get to, oh, by the way, when you load up they've got predefined camera views, like that's, if I go Control 1, it gives me that, Control 2 gives me that, Control 3, Control 4, Control 5. You can customize it, but this all comes with it. Control 6, Control 7, Control 9. Okay, so I found it's pretty good. The first thing you need to do is give the aircraft some power, and then you need to put on the emergency light. You know those lovely red and white lights you get? So now that doesn't mean you got power, right? What you need to do, you've got to go over to your ground servers, and you've got a little thing called a ground power GPU, and you get the ground power unit to come out, and once he attaches, then you've got to get the power that he's generated into the aircraft. Okay, so once he's connected, so he's now connected because that's the release. So we now go back up here, and you've got this thing here, ground power, and see how it says available? You click it down, and hear that? The whole aircraft comes to life. Okay, so that's the first thing. So now we got power. Now we do a couple of checks. Right, the first check that I do is I make sure that the gears are down and we've got 3 greens. I then, thanks for subscribing, Tom. You got needles filled with chai tea. No, mate, I'm off the, you know, we've had stinkers over the last few days, and chai tea is the last thing. I'm gone into the Chardonnay, the Howard Park Chardonnay. I think it's Howard Park, anyhow. So we got power. Now we've got to check that look at that. So look at that, all the power's coming through. You do a couple of checks. You make sure the gear's down 3 greens. You make sure that the flaps are up and there's no green lights. You do what they call a fire test. Make sure all your fire testing equipment is all up to scratch. So let's have a look. Let me get this right. Okay, there it is down there. Okay, so you do a test over there and you get 2 orange lights, and I won't talk to you, otherwise this will end up being a 14-hour stream rather than 3. Now this is all the fire testing. You love the noise, so you hit that to silence it. And so you know your fire testing alert system has worked. Now these are what they call the squibs, which basically are your bottles of fire extinguisher. Now each engine has got, and I think I've mentioned all this before in another stream, it's got a fire extinguisher, and the APU's got its own fire, but sometimes you can there's 2 fire extinguishers, you can use 2 fire extinguishers on the one engine, because you pull this up and you turn it left, and that injects the fire extinguisher, and then you turn it right to use the other fire extinguisher. And like I said, the APU's got its own. So we did the fire test. So after the fire test, I normally just go straight up the top here, and they're the mat. Now sometimes this works and sometimes I don't. Next, you turn these to navs, because you want the aircraft to know where it is. Okay, so by turning those to nav, it doesn't necessarily mean it engages the navigation system, but as I'll show you later, it doesn't necessarily mean it tells you straight away, but we'll come to that. Okay, now we do a couple of tests. We do what they call the light test, and apparently this is what the air pilots, when the kids come on board, make sure the lights are all up and the kids' lights are all fantastic. We don't want to turn the flight directors on yet, so that's that. And then we do an oxygen test, which is Okay, so that's all good. Now we do our FMC setup. Now let's go and do our sim brief. You have a look at our sim brief, and like I said, we're going to go from runway 34 right. And like I said, see how it's got Bernie 2 Victor? No, we're not going to do Victor. We're going to do the Alpha. And so never trust sim brief. Always, it isn't God, or isn't, who said, hey, go on, hi to Dennis. You got 12 live viewers. Oh, mate, this is it. I'm going to, mate, I'll tell you, I could be a megastar. I could be as big as, what's her name? Taylor Swift. I could be as big as her, mate. I could feel it. I know it's happening. I'm getting excited. So we're going to generate this flight, and we're going to get a few. Now, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get all this. We're going to be going at 37,000 feet with the cost index, blah, 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 There's our routine. Okay, this is what we want to see, this stuff. So our fuel, our block fuel, 5.0, you round it up to 5.1, and then you add 100 kilos as a buffer. So we're going to go down to the FMC and menu, FS actions, fuel, and we're going to 5.1 tonnes is 5,100 kilos. So now we go back and our payload, and we're going to look at our payload. And what we're looking for is 0 fuel weight, and which is this figure here. So pretty light, 49. So 49, we enter it in where it says 0 fuel weight. Okay, so now you get this message down the bottom, enter IRO's position. This is where we actually tell the aircraft where we are. So we go back to the menu, we go to FMC, and you've got here POS in it. You press that, and you see this set IRS. You know this is, you can see on this is this page 1 of 3. So you go to the next page, you get select GPS left, you go back to the previous page, and you're done. Okay, so that's that. I do MML and it does Adrenaline for SID, but I do Adrenaline for arrival. Yeah, exactly. So sorry, there's bats in the area? Enlighten me, I don't get it. That's right, Taylor Swift got nothing, mate. Who in the hell's Taylor Swift anyhow? All right, now you see down here you've got the route. Okay, before we do that, we go to the electronic flight bag and you see this request data from SimBrief. You can drag the data in and you can see Sydney to the Gold Coast. Okay, so now you've dragged that in. So what you do, you put in your departure or your origin and Y, is that right? YBCG, is that right? Something like that. Not sure. And what do we fly? Velocity 539. Sounds good. So we go, this is all pretty boring, but you got to do this shit anyhow. Okay, now we do what we call flight plan request. See how it brings up SimBrief? So now you think, well, what the hell is all this? Well, you select the route. And see how it's got flight plan request? You bring in the flight plan. So if you're, hey, Taylor Swift is pushing plastic, you're a full level. Exactly. That's right, Tom. You're a legend, mate. Exactly, mate. She's only worth about $400 million worth than I am. So must be doing something right. So it says there down there, load. So we load it up. And so we look at load. What I want to say is, it's loading up. I actually forgot to mention. Now, like I said, I'm not a real world pilot. This is what I do. So this is not all gospel, so to speak. Are you drunk? Mate, I've only had about a quarter of a glass of the Chardonnay, mate. I'd be in trouble if I was drunk now. So you can see here, see up the top, one of two. So if you go to the next page, you see direct, Olsum, Y93, Bander, Y43, Bernie. Is that correct? Well, let's check. Let's go to our sim brief. And Olsum, Y93, Bander, Y93, Bernie. Spot on. Spot on. So, what's next? Well, you don't activate it. Whatever you do, don't activate. We want to go departure. We're going departure Sydney. So we're going to take off from runway 34 right. So these are all the SIDs for runway 34 right. By pressing the runway key first, you get a limit. Otherwise, you've got to go through all the SIDs. But if you press the runway, it sort of narrows it down. So you've got Awesome. So that's that one done. So departure, press departure. You press the Gold Coast. Now we're going to be on runway 14. And we got the Arnev Zulu, I think it was. Zulu? Arnev Zulu 14. Okay, so Arnev Zulu 14. Keegan transition. And Bernie 2 Alpha. Look at that. So now when I press the legs page, what we do is, what we need to do, we need to check our plan. So you go up here and you put it onto plan. See it's in blue dots, and here we are. And CTR means it's centered right there. Is we press step, and we step through, and we keep an eye on the diagram, make sure there's no discontinuities. Big word, discontinuities. So you can see it's all lovely as I step through the whole plan. Everything looks pretty good. We go up to, look at that, and it looks all swimmingly amazing. That's just brilliant. There'll be a few things I might check later on, but no, that looks good. So we're pretty well right. So we can switch this back over to map, and now we activate it because we're happy, and we execute it, and it goes magenta. So we're happy with that. So am I making you want to do one, Tom, eh? I'm pretty influential, mate. I've made a lot of people do a lot of things, not necessarily flying either. Mind you, it was involving the opposite sex, but hey, listen, we won't go into that. We certainly won't go into that. So, okay, so we're pretty happy, and that's probably the hardest part of this, is actually, you know, doing the flight plan and getting it all, you know, because of all the years I've been on VATSIM, you know, most of the guys, they take off, they take about, between the time they call tower and the time they take off, and by the time they do their plan, it's about 13 seconds. I'm thinking, well, this guy obviously hasn't planned properly, and guess what? More often than not, they'll take off and it'll all go tits up, and, you know, it all goes to shit. So you got to really, if you don't want to stuff up your flight, make sure you plan properly. XP12, how do you find that XP12? I had X-Plane, well, would you believe, actually, when I first joined VATSIM, Oh, geez, I can't believe it. I was on a laptop. Wow, that's a bloody long time ago. I had X-Plane, what was it, 9 back then on my laptop, Apple laptop. Oh, gee, that brings back memories. Yeah. So, now, that's the hardest part. Make sure you get this flight plan right, because that's 9 times out of 10. Most of the stuff, okay, so now we've got our flight plan all done, and we're happy with that. Now we start going through now the next way is your init ref, initialization reference. So your cost index, as we say, is 1.9. We go to our reserves, and if we go down here and we have a look down there, we can see this FinRes and ALTN 1672. We'll round it up to 1.7. So 1672 is kilos, which is round up to 1700, which is 1.7, because this is in tons. Zero fuel weight, what was it again? Anybody? I can't remember. Memory like a sieve these days. Sorry, where am I? What am I doing? 49, zero fuel weight, 49. So, now, cruise altitude, I think it was 37, wasn't it? Was it 37,000? Where do I find that? Up here. It was up here. I saw it before. Anyhow, you can have a look. There it is, 370, 370. By the way, this is actually, see how do I read this briefing? Get your head around this, because I'll tell you, it's really, really good how this, and that goes through the whole thing there. But anyhow, I don't know why I did that, but anyhow, yeah. So 370, that was the most optimum. And later on I'll show you actually, there's a thing here that tells you actually if it's better to go higher or lower, but I'll show you that later on. Now, what was the question again? Cruise wind, right, cruise wind. Let's have a look. What we do, and what I've been told, you go to top of climb. See here, you got Y93 top of climb, and these are your cruise winds there, 265 at 39, so 265 at 39, and now your outside air temperature. Okay, I think it was minus something, minus 48, okay? Where do I get that from? There. Okay, so minus 48. So it's negative 48. Oh, bye Sydney Light. Yep, agree. I think the rain looks, yeah, the scenery not quite, but still, yep. So the scenery is, yeah, definitely. The X-Plane 12 is, yeah. Wouldn't it be good if this mob got their bloody flight modelling like X-Plane? Yeah, but sometimes it's like anything, you know. Yeah, you win on one side and you lose on the other, you know. Yeah, it's like, you might marry someone and she's as ugly as sin, but shit, she can cook. Or you've got this bird who's an absolute supermodel, great in bed, but she wouldn't know how to boil an egg. You know what I'm saying? It's like you win on one way, and you know what goes around in the roundabout. What's the old saying? Swings and roundabouts or something. So anyhow, I digress. So anyhow, the N1 limit, execute, going to execute that. So we're okay on the performance initialization page. So the next page sort of, there it tells you N1. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a D rate, and we're going to climb 1. We're going to, so we select that. Now, selected outside air temperature. Now, to derate this, what you do is our temperature is 24 degrees outside. If you put a higher temperature, it derates the engine, so it's a way of saving the engine. So how do we know what that is? Well, you can do one of two ways. Not yet, Chris, but I probably will be, actually. So, yep, Sydney, see you later, Sydney Light, yeah. Oh, it's only 7 o'clock here. 7:45 and I bloody haven't even, oh, jeez. It might be midnight by the time I land in. Anyhow, you can do the cheap way and you use this performance. Now, I know aviation, Chris, you can use a thing and it's subscription base. And if memory serves me correct, let me find out. Now it's up to you what you want to. It's called. This is how, if you really like. This thing here called Virtual Performance Tool. This is if you're really, really serious, but listen, I'm going to get me landings right and get to know other things of the aircraft before. So this is like for serious simmers like Aviation Chris. He's VPT. So, and this I'm not. This is subscription based, and this is like, you know, you can get the standard, you can get the pro. It just depends on how serious. Many, many years ago, and you remember this, Chris, remember how I said the great beauty of simulation is you can make it as real as you want. And that's exactly what this is doing. So if you want to get really sort of realistic and you take your flight simming to the next level, well, by all means, get this tool. It's highly recommended. It's a brilliant tool. I've seen it used. But for the purpose of this, we're going to use this old cheapo PMDG. Okay, so we're going to look at this optimum. We're going to import that from the aircraft. We will import the weather, see what the weather like, 3010, and you press the calculate. Now, it tells you all what the optimum takeoff, and so we're going to go flaps 1. See, that's select the temp at 47. So we put that in there and you watch this derate the engine. Look at that, get to 88. So we're now derated, so we've sort of, it's not going full blast. Now we're going to, as we said, we're going flaps 1. Now, center of gravity, you just click it, 23.5, and you click it again. And V1, VREF, that's your rotational speed, and V2. So trim is 5.3 and V2 is 130. So first thing I do is I make sure that I set the trim. So I've got, like on my honeycomb yoke, I've got a electronic thing that trims it down. Doesn't have to be exact, roughly there. And 130 we said, so we set our speed to 130. Like I said, this is not really in depth. It's not how to fly the plane. This is for the young guys out there, or even the old blokes like me. Some old bloke the other day I was controlling. Everything I said, he got wrong. Like if I said the squawk code 4375, he'd go 44875. And I'd say the, you know, Warren 2 Alpha Warren arrival. What was that again? Can you tell me? So, you know, this is, if you're an old guy trying to get into this, you know, this is for you. This is only a starter. You can build on this. This is not the be all and end all. It's getting dark out there already. No. So like I said, this is the starter. This is okay. So let's go back, and we've done that. So we've done the takeoff. So now the other thing we need to do is see where it says route data, and you go wind request. You bring in the winds, because now you can bring in the winds, which is pretty neat. So it'll give you a message here. You can bring the cruise winds, which makes calculation of the top of descent a lot more accurate. So it's really good. So you got load there. You press the load, and it says cruise winds uploading, and you execute it. Now, descent. You go descent. See your forecast here. You press that, and descent winds uplink, and you load those down. And execute that. Okay, now I'll leave this alone. This is for when before you do your top of descent. I'll put the QNH of the arrival airport. So at the end of the day, we've done it. Now we keep this on legs page. Why do we keep this on legs page? And then this guy, the first officer, he keeps it on that page. And the reason I say that, and just in case you're wondering, is if you're the pilot and you're flying and they say, velocity 85 or whatever you might call it, 859, track shortening available, direct ISM, and I can go, yeah, I'll take that. So, you can, and those who know how to operate, you press this ISM and it goes on your scratch pad, and then you press it up here, and this goes direct to ISM. That's how you do track shortening, fly track shortening. The reason this guy is here, let's say, for example, they say, air traffic control says, identified, climb to flight level 370, cancel speed. Well, this guy can, by deleting that there, see how there's a speed limit 250 on flight level 10,000 or 10,000 and below, so he can delete that, and then that removes that speed restriction under 10,000. So that's why you as a captain have got this page open, and there's the first officer's got that page open. Okay. So, got to jump off, buddy. Thanks for tuning in earlier today. Hey, listen. Now, stay on. Don't. Now, this is only between me, you, and 12 other subscribers. We're going to build a new house, okay? I don't know when we find it. And I plan to put a simulator in the new place, in a room, dedicated. So I'm quite serious about putting the 172 simulator in there, So I've been looking at a few pages. I'm thinking of probably getting the 6-pack, the analog shit. And I'm going to be buying like the real world analog stuff. So I'm going to spend a bit of money. I'm lucky I'm in that position where I can do that. So, but I'll need your help to connect it all, because you look like you're the man who knows what's going on. I mean, like I said, I enjoyed your fusion today, mate. It's you're a better drafter than I was. Okay, no worries, mate. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next stream. All right. So here we are. I hope I'm not getting too boring, but this will be on for, like I said, people that want to learn how to get in the system. Now, Sydney's still on, and who have we got? We got Joe and we got David. Qantas 69, yep. Qantas, okay. Okay, now, if we want to get onto VATSIM, that's a good thing. We need to file. This is how you file on VATSIM. So, you file the flight plan, and it's been filed. Okay, and then we need to go to vPilot, and there's vPilot, and velocity, what are we? Velocity, keep forgetting. 539. So we file on velocity 539, connect. Here we go. Go to the flight plan. We clear that. That's Brisbane to Sydney, so we clear that. And because we got it onto the server, we can fetch it from the server, and look at that. And we can file it. So now it's online. And we go, Sydney approach is on. Sydney Tower is on. Magnificent, I'll tell you. Qantas 725, do I remember? I can't say I do, Ghost Rider. Yeah, Tom, I was probably, I was on frequency with you when you were controlling down at Melbourne, Bicky Centre. Yep. Mate, I've done a shitload of controlling. Yeah, you reckon I got for a controller's rating in VATPAC? You reckon I got, what does that mean, Tom? Do you remember? I'm not sure what, you reckon I got for a controllers? Oh, okay, so that was you, 725. Yeah, like I said, I've done a lot of controlling. If I showed you my VATSIM hours, I've done a shitload of controlling. I enjoy it, so, you know. So, it's... Okay, so now what we've done is we've got everything ready and we've got all our FMC done. Now the thing is, next thing we do is we do what they call a final flow. We do an overhead flow. Okay, and what we do is we work from, see how it's, you've got 5 segments, you've got these panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we start from the top, go to the bottom, start from top, bottom, bottom. So now because I've done this so many times, I don't have to look, but you put the yaw dampers on, you don't touch anything, you just make sure source is auto, control panel is normal. The fuel pumps, now what you do, see how down the bottom you've got 5.1 tonnes. And there's nothing, that's the centre tank, right? So obviously this is the centre tank fuel pumps, right? So you don't turn them on, but you turn all these fuel pumps on. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so, and you go down, you don't touch anything here, you don't worry about the gens because there's no APU or engines on, so you don't worry about that. You can turn the seatbelt signs to on, the wipers stay in the park position, you go back up here, you turn off on all the window heats. You don't turn on the probe heats because, especially on a hot day, you don't want to overheat the probes. So you turn on the electric hydraulic pumps. You go down there, this is the pressurization, we won't go into that. We adjust the temperatures up here, make sure the cabin temperature is nice and cool. And we make sure the recirculation fan is auto. We put the packs to auto and the isolation valve to auto. The APU bleeds, the engine bleeds 1 and 2, there's 1 and that's 2, and the APU bleed is off. We said we're going to 30, this is the pressurization, so we need to put the right, so that's 37,000. Now the landing altitude, well, that's, how do we find that out? Well, it's basically the aerodrome, and it's the height of the aerodrome. So if, let's say, for example, this is the arrival airport and I show details, see the elevation there, 21 feet, okay? So, now because you can't, that's the only altitude you put on, so you round it up. So, that's that done. Now we work along here. Now we've got the position lights on steady. Okay, the next thing we do is we're now ready to turn on the APU. So now we turn on the APC, the EGT, which is exhaust gas temperature, will rise up to 800 and then it'll drop down to 400. It will stay steady at that. Once it's steady, this blue light will come on and we chuck on the APU bleeds, which is, what is bleeds? Well, bleeds is like a pressurization. Hello, Bruck. 11 p.m. Melbourne. Yes, I know, mate. Oh, I tell you, you guys, if you stay for the duration of this, you'll be a legend, mate. So you can see the EGT temperature of the APU, which is the auxiliary power unit. Excuse me if I'm using shortened names, but you're a legend, mate, if you're staying up and watching this, I'm telling you. So you see how now it's come, and it won't go past 400. And this blue light should go on. Once that goes on, I can chuck on. See, now it's on. Now put on the APU bleeds. So now, what's next? After that, we go to what we call the mode control panel, which is this thing here. We've got to set that all up. Okay, now, if there was no ATC, I'd just put this altitude up to 37,000. But because we know that, and actually I'll tune into, I'll tune in now. Sydney Tower, first 126, 125, I'll tune in, listen to the ATIS. One, 2, 6, 2, 5.
Runway 34 left and right for arrivals and departures. Independent parallel departures in progress. Many bats in area. Wind 030 degrees, 15 knots. Cav OK. Temperature 25. QNH 1011. On first contact with Sydney ground or approach, notify receipt of information, Juliet.
Okay, Juliet. So we got Juliet. Okay, so you make sure, and how do I know the frequencies? Well, you just look at, there's the ATIS 126, and there's tower. So what I've done is I've tuned the ATIS, and because I've tuned the ATIS, now I can be one step ahead. Sydney approaches 124.4, so I can go straight to that, so I don't have to muck about. So what, that's tower, and that's, so I'm now ready with my let's just see, I better check to make sure I'm on VATSIM. There I am, yep, good, velocity 530. Sydney Tower, g'day, velocity 539, request clearance to the Gold Coast, thanks.
Velocity 539, Sydney Tower, g'day, you clear to the Gold Coast via the Awesome flight plan route. Runway 34 right, Awesome 1 departure. Climb via seat at 5000, squawk 4005, departures 124.4.
Say again the squawk code, so I just missed that.
Squawk 4005.
Roger, cleared to Gold Coast via Olsen planned route via the seat, climb to 5000, runway 34 right, Olsen 1 departure, squawk 4005 and departures 124.4, velocity 539.
Velocity 539.
Okay, so you heard that's the way you get your clearance, and now I've been cleared. So now, because I've been cleared, I've only been cleared up to 5,000. That means, and I've seen it so many times, I wish I had $1 for every time I give somebody a clearance, and guess what? They forget to contact me on departure, and and yeah, they go past 5,000. I say, well, you know, I told you to contact me on departures. What are you doing? But obviously they have no idea. So that's that. I've set 5,000. Heading, well, we know that over here it says runway heading 34 right, so 335. So now indicate, did I do me indicate airspeed? 130. Okay, 130. Okay, that's V2. Okay, so we've got our clearance. So we set up our MCP, mode control panel. That we don't have to worry about the course. That probably becomes more relevant when you're flying in Europe and you have to, you know, for a VOR, your VOR intercept, and you tune it into the course. But especially in England, especially when you take off from London, you have to intercept this course and that course. It's probably more relevant. You don't have to worry about this. Is probably more relevant when you're on final, when you're doing your approach into Gold Coast, and I'll show you what that's all about. Okay, so we've been cleared to 5,000. So we now turn on the flight directors. What's a flight director? Well, I'll show you later on. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But I'm trying to do it the right way, Tom. Yeah, I know. There's an easy way and there's always a hard way.
Sydney Tower, Qantas 587, request taxi to runway.
So,
Qantas 587, taxi Golf, cross 34 left, Charlie, cross 25, Bravo 10, Sierra, Tango 6 holding point, 34 right.
So, now, the QNH he said was 1011. Okay, so what we do, we've got 29.2.
Sydney Tower, please repeat for Qantas 587.
We changed that to
Qantas 587, taxi Golf, cross 34 left,
1011.
Charlie, cross runway 25, Bravo 10, Sierra, Tango 6 holding point, 34 right.
And we set the auto brake to reject the takeoff, RTO. Now, what we need to do is look at the...
Sydney Tower, taxi via Golf, cross runway 34 left, Charlie, Sierra, Bravo 10, Sierra, Tango 6, holding runway 34 right.
Qantas 587, thanks, just confirm cross runway 25.
Cross runway 25, confirm, Qantas 587.
So, all the systems work, so now
Qantas
you...
69 final, 34 left.
Qantas 69, Sydney Tower.
Okay, so we've got the RTO, we park and brake, we've set
Qantas
that.
69, reduce minimum approach speed.
There again, Qantas 69.
Qantas 69, reduce minimum approach speed.
Minimum approach speed, Qantas 69.
Hang on, he can't say that. What's he saying? Is that tower?
Qantas 69, we're also via touch and go.
Qantas 69. Qantas 587, amended taxi Golf, hold short at 34 left.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I was thinking about that. That's probably a good idea.
Qantas 587, taxi Golf, hold short at 34 left.
Yeah. In case you go, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Tower,
Thanks very
taxi
much.
Golf, hold 34 left, Qantas 587.
Qantas 69, runway 34 left, clear touch and go.
34 left, clear touch and go,
Yeah,
Qantas 69.
that's a good point, mate. Yeah, I know, Bruce, or Bruck, is it sure? I want to buy the, yeah, I know, but, you know, at the end of the day, they do a good product. I've got to admit that. There's only one better product than this, and that's the Phoenix A320, but that comes with an even heavier cost, and I know, I know Aviation Chris, one of my viewers, will say he calls it the scare bus, not the Airbus. He calls it the scare bus because it's the old fly-by-wire and you know, almost flies itself. He doesn't like that, but each to his own. but probably the Phoenix is the only other. Okay, so we've gone through, we've set up the MCP. Yeah, it is 560. Shit, I almost paid that just for the yoke. Hang on, what did I pay? 440? Can't remember now. All up about $800 for the yoke and the throttle. Yeah. Yeah, I know. You had a laugh at it. I know, Chris. Okay, so now we've set up, now we go, and what we do now, we do what we call a config check. Okay, we've set up the RTO check. Now, what we do, we advance the thrust levers, and we should hear like a warning. And that tells us we haven't configured the aircraft for takeoff.
Sydney Tower, Qantas 587, holding short, runway 34 left.
Right.
Qantas 587.
That's what you want to hear. Now, when we're on the runway, at the runway, and ready to take off, that's what you don't want to hear. But now you do want to hear that. Okay? So we've done the config check. Stabilizer trims are normal. I'm just going to radios.
Qantas 587 on Golf, cross runway 34 left, taxi Golf, Charlie, cross 25, Bravo 10, Sierra, Tango, Tango 6, holding point, 34 right.
Boy, this guy gets... Why would you want to 40...
Tower, cross 34 left, onto Charlie, Sierra, Bravo 10, Tango, Tango, holding point 34 right.
Qantas 690, contact Sydney approach 124.4.
124.4, and you're welcome for the air show there, mate, on the ground.
Yeah, it's a great price. Okay, so yeah, all right. I thought it was Bruce. Yeah, it's no, that's a great price. Well, hang on. There's another thing too. Buyer beware. You know, at the end of the day, if they sell, oh, geez, my Chardonnay's getting warm. Well, the Chardonnay's finished. Over to the tranquilizers now. Or I might use them when I'm on final approach on runway 14 at the Gold Coast. Anyhow, it's getting quite dark out there. What's it like out there? There we go. That's Qantas 10, I think. I think he's lost. See, we've got to go down here, right? We've got to go down here. We've got to go past the tower. Then we've got to go down here. And see, there's runway 34, right? It's about a 15-minute
Good
taxi.
evening, Sydney Tower, Qantas 597, established on ILS 34 left.
Qantas 597, Sydney Tower, g'day, the wind's 030 degrees 15 knots,
There he
runway
is.
34 left, clear to land.
See there, the lights, he's got his hand landing
Clear
lights
to
on.
land, runway 34 left, Qantas 597.
There you go. Anyhow, we're nowhere near that. Okay, let's get this show on the road. We do a safety inspection. Yeah, you can. You can go check all the. You got to check all the batteries on. Hydraulic pumps are on. Yep. Okay.
All stations, information, kilos now current, one change, wind 020 degrees 14 knots, information, kilo.
Because the APU is on, to put them onto the gen, we make sure that parking brake is set. Now, because we've got power and the APU is running everything, we now get rid of the ground power unit, and we get rid of the stairs, we get rid of the chocks. Okay, so if I have a look here, there's the stairs disappearing, the chocks are gone, the doors are closed. Make sure the APU bleed is on. Can't see properly there. And before start checklist, okay, I'll just do this. The IRS mode selectors are on nav. The light test is checked. Oxygen is tested. Your damper is on. Nav transfer and display switches, I think, were normal. And auto control, yep. Fuel is 5.1 tonnes required, 5.1 tonnes on board, and pumps are on. Fasten seatbelt signs are on, window heats are on, air conditioning packs are on auto, bleeds are on and set, pressurisation is auto, instruments, radio, take off. Okay, so it looks like we're now ready to get pushback. But before we do that, we've got to turn the APUs off, otherwise you get like a backflow and you end up, I'm not sure of the actual anti-collision light. That's our...
Sydney Tower, Foxtrot Kilo Delta, requesting clearance to Canberra.
That's
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, you cleared to Canberra via the Wollongong flight point route. Runway 34 left to Wollongong 2 departure. Colombo City 5000, squawk 4433, departures 124.4.
And transponders alt off. Okay, so...
Canberra via Wollongong flight point route, runway 34 left Wollongong 2 departure. Colombo City 5000, 4433 is the squawk, and...
So we want to go nose left.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta.
So, nose left. So we want to go... This is actually a handy tool, this. So, nose left, and then we're going to taxi. Now I'm going to see what this guy gives me for taxi instructions, because it's going to be a beauty. Now is he on Sydney Tower? Velocity 539, I think I am, yeah. Sydney Tower, Velocity 539, request push and start.
Velocity 539, push approved.
Push approved, Velocity 539. Okay, so...
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground, stand by.
What they do, they raise the aircraft in real life. But you don't...
Sydney Tower, Qantas 597, request taxi to gate.
Qantas 597, do you have a preferred parking today?
Good question. Probably gate, let's go gate 2. Qantas 597.
Qantas 597, works with me, taxi Bravo, cross 25, Bravo 2 to the bay, have a good one.
Okay, sir, the bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches
Yes, it is,
closed,
Tom.
all
Fly
ground
Tampa.
equipment is
Taxi Bravo, cross 25
Parking brakes are
to
set. You may
taxi
lift.
to stand 2. Have a good evening.
lifting the aircraft.
Can I just confirm Bravo 2 to the bay?
Chug, chug, yes, that's right.
Sorry, my apologies. Bravo 2 to the bay.
We are
Qantas
cleared for
597.
start and push.
No worries, Qantas
Okay, cleared for push
587,
start.
report when ready for
Please release
departure.
parking brake.
Okay, parking brake, you depress the brake pedals.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Okay,
We'll start in the sequence.
normally start number 2 first. And what you do, you wait for the N2, what this is, N2 and all that. Basically, the jet engine's a giant compressor. And N2, I think, is the high pressure, or correct me if I'm wrong. And N1 is the low pressure. It might be the other way around, but basically a giant compressor. As soon as you get to N2 25, we chuck in the fuel. And then we wait for these lights to go out on engine 2. Once they go out...
Sydney Tower, Qantas 587, ready for takeoff, runway 34 right.
Qantas 587, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Hey, Mad Dog, how you going, mate?
34 right, clear for takeoff, Qantas 587.
Shit, where am I going? I hope this bloke knows what's going on. Oh, good. No, he does. So we hear a little click, and that's now gone off. So now we can do engine 1. And we wait, same thing, 25%, N2.
Okay,
And
pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
see, actually, that's shown. See how that low.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side.
See
Have
you.
a good flight.
Thank you very much.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Yeah, I hope I've been some help, Mad Dog. Mind you, I've had some pretty rough sessions, but I hope I've actually been sort of instrumental in teaching you something. Oh, is that right? Honeycombs go, yeah, I heard that they've... did I set my parking brakes? Yeah, I did. Yeah, they haven't been responding and haven't been... Yeah, somebody, who was it? One of the YouTubers said, what's going on with Honeycomb?
Quarter 587, contact departures 124.4. Have a good one.
Oh, well, that's good. Thanks a lot. I have a
Departure on
lot.
124.4, Qantas 587, good night.
Okay, so where am I and what am I doing and why am I here and blah, blah, blah. Error. Okay. Now. All right, so next thing. What have I got? Juliet. Now, request taxi. Let's not get distracted, shall we? So,
Qantas 69, I find all 34 left. Hello.
because I've now got the engines running, I'll put the gens
Quarter
on.
69, Sydney to hello again.
And
From my tree for
I don't need the
left. You for touch and go, full stop.
I don't need the APU anymore, so they can... So now the gens are all running off the engine and everything. Now, before I start to taxi, I'll put the start switches to continuous. The reason is because should an engine flame out happened, or that if they're on continuous, the engine tries to continue to start itself. Probe heats. Now, this is where I'll put on the probe heat. Remember before I didn't have them on? So now you put them on. Engine anti-ice not required.
Qantas 69er, cleared for the option.
Yay! He doesn't sound too happy. APU blue because...
for left, cleared for the option.
APU blue.
Hooray!
Stabilizer trim, start leaves this guy.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta on Foxtrot 6, requesting taxi clearance, receive information Kilo.
So now, what we do, we need to blank the...
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, can you accept the Kilo holding point for runway 34 left? There's an intersection.
We do a recall check. If anything is not right, this comes up. So...
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, thanks. Taxi Golf Charlie Kilo holding point, runway 34 left.
Golf Charlie Kilo holding point, run 34 left. Foxtrot Kilo
Okay.
Delta.
Now we do what we call a before taxi checklist. So we make sure the gens are on, APU is off, start switches are continuous, probe heats are on, anti-ice not required, air conditioning packs or auto bleeds are on, isolation valve is auto, stabilizer trim was 5 points, I think it was 5.3, 5.3 is set, and start leader is these things here, idle detent, which is right, flight controls checked. I could do it one more time, but pretty nifty actually. Okay, so that's all. Now, see that when he's white like that, see that their livery's not right because the call sign doesn't match what their livery should be. Anyhow, all right, we're ready to go. I forgot my call sign now. What was it again? Qantas 539? Velocity 530. Oh, shit, I said that terrible Q word. Sydney Tower, Velocity 539, ready for taxi. Got Juliet.
Velocity 539, taxi Golf Charlie cross 25, Bravo 10, Sierra Tango 6, holding point 34 right.
let's see if I got this right. Roger, taxi via Golf Charlie, cross 25 down to Bravo 10, Tango 6, holding point, runway 34 right.
Velocity 5 per minute.
He tried to catch me out, the smart ass. But
You got a 69 router approved, Brav Christian Foxtrot.
We don't touch and go, mate.
yeah, that's it. That's the guy. Mad Dog. That's it. That's the guy. Oh, he got everything wrong, mate. He, you know, his flight plan, he just had it wrong. He's like 8,000 feet above the aerodrome, you know, and no idea, the poor bugger. I felt so for him. Yeah, I know. I said the Q word. Oh, God. Oh, hi. Just excuse me, guys. I just got to... Oh, hang on. I might need another glass of Chardonnay just to wash that filth out of my mouth. Oh, God. Anyhow.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta.
Okay, now, remember... Oh, there he is. He's landed. Oh, he's at the 787 that just landed. That looks pretty cool.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, runway 34 left, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, Foxtrot Kilo Delta.
So we're going to go Golf, Charlie... which one's Charlie? That one. Okay, Golf Charlie. I'm trying to get me bearings here. Okay, now we turn the taxi lights on. We've got parking brakes released and we don't want to...
Mayday, 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 quarter 69, we've had a dual engine failure, we've got a big problem here.
Yeah, you want the good news or the bad news, quarter 690?
Quarter 69, Roger, contact approach 124.4, he will work on you from there. Do you need any assistance?
No, we're Gucci.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you're not supposed to declare an emergencies on VATSIM, by the way, I don't think. That's what I've been led to believe. Okay, so now we do a config check. We don't want to hear those. So release the parking brakes. Parking brakes are released. Oh, shit. That's what we didn't want to hear. What have I got? What have I done? Oh, flaps. I knew it.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, runway 34 left, clear for takeoff.
What the hell?
Clear for takeoff, 34 left, Foxtrot Kilo Delta.
I didn't have my flaps in. Okay. See how the config check is fantastic. Now you can do, well, on the taxis, you can do 25 k's an hour. On the apron, I'm not sure what the speed limit is, but you can do, on the apron I'm not sure, but down the taxiway is 25. I think that's your maximum speed. So down here we do a turn right, and we got to go down this way and down that way and blah blah blah.
And Foxtrot Kilo Delta, maintain runway heading, please.
Oh, look at this goose.
Runway heading, Foxtrot Kilo Delta.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, thanks. You can contact Sydney approach 12 correction departures 124.4 safe line.
Over the departures.
You don't want to be
Kilo
doing
Delta,
more than
thanks.
10 knots in the turn. So he said Golf Charlie, I think he said. There's Charlie there. Oh shit. Nick, keep your eye on the ball. Hear that clunk? I'm running over these taxi lights. So you want to slow down to doing 14, so I want to slow down to about 10. So you want to, because the nose wheel is behind you, you want to sort of go a little bit forward a bit when you do your turn. And we're on Charlie, and he said, there's the runway indicator, 25's on your left, and he said, see how these stop signals here, there's 2 solid lines, means you need a clearance to cross. Now, because I've got my clearance, no one, and you're always good to check too, by the way. And Golf Charlie 25 Bravo 10. Oh, let's see. So it's about a 15-minute taxi in real life. I can just up the speed a bit. Or is it? The curfew? Oh, well, we're going to break. Hey, boys. I do that at the holding point, boys. Thanks for controlling me the other night, mate. So what am I doing? 16. So I'm... So I'm hooning along here like a... Well, like the hoon that I was when I was a young bloke. Mate, I love the... This is brilliant how... Oh shit, I think I've taken the turn too quickly. I'm up to 19 Ks. What's going on? I should be slowing down a bit. Say hello to the tower. You're all a mob of pricks. Okay. Now what do I do here? Turn left, I think. Memory serves me. Turn left and then I'll go turn right down there, I think. So, what did he say? Tango 6, didn't he? Holding point. Okay. So, I think I turn left. Or do I turn left down there? Doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll turn left down there. They all lead me to the same place. Gee, I tell you, I've got the, this is a 4K monitor, and I'll tell you what, I don't know what it looks like at your end, guys, but geez, this looks brilliant, you know. Yeah, it looks magnificent. Alright, so he said Tango 6, runway 34 right, which is right down the... I'll up the speed a bit, I think. Okay, so when I get down to the holding point, I'll say to tower ready. I don't need to say runway 34, well actually I should say runway 34 right, because there's parallel runways. If there's only one runway in use, but I should say runway ready, runway 34 right. So now I'm going to go right down there, and there's a runway right down there. And there's Tango, see on the T that I just went past? And if I look closely there, there's runway 6, so I know that I'm heading the right direction. Well, that's something. Been ages since I've been took off from runway 34 right. I know I'm going 11 bloody knots. Come on, give it a bit of gas, mate. You're like an old like an old woman, mate. That's it. I don't know if you. I told this to Sim today when he was streaming, and probably Glenn heard it as well. But anyhow, Qantas 781. Yeah, but I didn't know. I didn't think you could call emergencies on. Oh, it was all right. Hey, Boykes, it was all right. Yeah, I'm getting up to 18 knots. I'm ready now. Okay. Don't forget, I can do 25 here. So once I line up, I chuck on the landing lights, position strobes and steadies. I turn on. Now, in real life, what they do, they turn on the taxi lights. Once you get your clearance, then you turn your taxi light on, and it's sort of like a reminder. Say, oh, have we got our landing takeoff clearance? Oh, the taxi light's off. No, we haven't. So what they do, as soon as they get your takeoff clearance, you chuck in you turn off your 25. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on. Steady, steady. Yeah, gee, a hell of a bloody taxi, isn't it? Shit, I'll run out of fuel, I reckon. What's going on? 2.44, oh, I've got a fuel imbalance already. Oh, by the way, just look at down the right, 2.44 and 2.47. Do you know why the left one is less than the right? And correct me if I'm wrong, the APU feeds off the left tank. Because I had the APU going on for a while, it takes the fuel from the left tank. And 34 right, Cat 1, that's the ILS. That's the ILS is, what is it called? The hazard area. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyhow, we're getting there. As soon as I get to the holding point, Sydney Tower, Qantas 539 ready, runway 34 right.
Velocity 539, roger, runway 34 right, line up, please.
Sorry, sir, say again.
Velocity 539, runway 34 right, line up.
Line up, runway 34 right, Qantas, oh, God, yuck, 539.
Excuse me.
Yeah, ugh. Disgusting.
Target A, Qantas 781, established ILS, 34 left.
Qantas 781, Sydney, target A, just confirm, are you still ready a failure or negative?
Negative.
Qantas 781, roger, squawk 4573, the wind 020 degrees, 14 knots, runway 34 left, clear to land.
Squawk 4573, 34 left, clear land, Qantas 781.
Velocity 539, runway 34 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 34 right, to velocity 539. Okay, so now we bring up the thrust to 40. Once it stabilises at 40, press the toga. Ah, shit. Okay. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pause right. Gear up. Back up.
Velocity 539, contact departures, have a good one.
Over departures, velocity 539. Beautiful Sydney on our left. Sydney departures, g'day, velocity 539, passing 2,800.
Velocity 539, approach, good day identified, climb via the city flight level 280.
By the SID 280, velocity 539. So,
ILS established with Air 156.
With Air 156, over to tower 120.5, good day.
Over to tower 12.5, good night.
I forgot to turn the taxi lights on. Anyhow, that was Sydney down there. Beautiful view of Sydney. Look at that. Oh, geez, I don't know if it comes through on your screens, guys, but geez, that looks magnificent. Wow. Anyhow, that wasn't the best of takeoff, I've got to admit, but strobes, yes, I did put the strobes, mate. I got them there. Yeah, they're the strobes there, mate.
Just 470, turn left heading 360 degrees, clear the ILS approach runway 34 left, report established.
Now,
turn left heading
the rest is,
exit ILS will report.
now we do our takeoff
470.
checklist. After takeoff flow, pressurization is checked, start switches are off, gears up and off, auto brake is off, altimeters are checked, and after check air conditioning, landing gear is up and off.
Just 470, reduce to minimum approach speed.
What's your reduced to minimum setup?
Now don't forget, after 10,000 we press the standard Q&H. How many times have I seen that? People aren't on the standard Q&H. And now we set up our heading bug to reflect. I'm using the honeycomb throttle here, so with the autopilot, so just turning that to match the heading in case the ATC tells us to, full sequencing, turn left, turn right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we just do the flaps up, no light. Good. All right, so now
LX1, would you like your vectors to runway 34 left or happy to keep 34 right?
Now, there's a slight imbalance in our fuel, 2.16, 2.1.
Yeah, 34 left would be appreciated, work one.
How do we correct that? Well, that's easy. What you do, you turn, because the left one is lower than the right. I'm talking about fuel pumps here, mate. Nothing else.
Roger, LX1, you can now expect runway vectors, the ILS runway 34 left. Maintain heading 160 degrees.
So we're now feeding purely
heading 160 and we'll expect 34 right.
Off the right fuel. And you should see this number down there.
Sorry, 34 left, Ewick 1, cheers.
There it is. So we now put them back on. And so we now got equal, just in case you wanted to know that.
Flight 21, what's your planned top of descent?
Okay.
Planned top of descent is just overhead runner.
Oh, did I?
About
5 miles.
Ooh, that's
loud. 21, Roger. Descend when ready, 5,000, Sydney QNH 1011.
When ready to send 5,000, Sydney QNH 1011, Care Flight 21.
Now, we want to, when this guy, like I said, stay.
Delta 470, just confirm your established ILS.
There's nobody doing centre, so he'll probably. Now, we know we've got Brisbane. Is he extending? Oh, Aviation Chris.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, AFM, monitor Unicom 122, decimal 8. Fantastic.
Aviation Chris is on.
Foxtrot Kilo Delta, thanks.
Jetstar 470, Sydney approach.
Sydney approach, Jetstar 470, sorry.
Jetstar 470, confirm your established ILS.
Establishing about 1 second, 2 seconds, there we are. Established ILS.
Jetstar 470, thanks. Contact with Tower 120, decimal 5, g'day.
Over the tower, just 76.
Airwork 1, turn left heading 250 degrees, runway 34 left.
You said turn left, Airwork 1?
Airwork 1, negative, turn right heading 260 degrees.
Right heading 260, Airwork 1.
134.5. 134.5. You can see look at that, looks the sheepskin, absolutely. All right, so now we're just on cruise, well, not cruise, we're on climb to our, when he takes us over to 122.
Yeah, flight 21, leaving flight level 110.
Yeah, flight 21, thanks.
When he tells us over to change over to Unicom, no further ATC services, that means we can crank up our altitude to flight level 370. Okay, so there's nothing else. I don't think there's anything else. There is one thing I've got to show you though. You know, these days, you know, they talk about, you know, these singers. And
Flight 21, bank account information Zulu, now current QNH 1012.
Let me see how far I'm away from.
Information, we'll grab information Zulu, QNH 1012, Care Flight 21.
Oh.
Airwork 1, turn left heading 310 degrees, clear the ILS approach runway 34 left, report established.
Turn right heading 340 degrees and report established, Airwork 1.
Wait till he tells us to go to Unicom 122.
Velocity 539, no further ATC available. Monitor Unicom 122, decimal 8, have a fantastic flight, g'day.
Over to Unicom 122, decimal 8, g'day, cheers. Thanks a lot for your service.
Thanks, flying, see ya.
See ya. You're on the stream anyhow, you're a legend.
Apologies, say again?
You're on the stream, you're a legend.
Thanks.
Okay, so now, I'm now up to flight level 370. And now, they talk about entertainment. Well, back in my days, this guy was the coolest guy, and you know, people dream of being a plumber or a pilot. You know who I dreamed of being? Hey, you're a legend, mate, I tell you. Anyhow, back to Flight Sim. Now, that was cool. That's who I wanted to be when I was growing up. I tell you, Robert Palmer. Yeah, he died in his 50s, only about 54, I think. Found him dead in the... He was a heavy smoker, I think. I think that's what got him. Oh, well, allegedly. We won't go there.
Bankstown traffic, Care Flight 21 will be joining the RMP 11 Centre. About a 10-mile final for runway 11 Centre. Bankstown traffic.
Addicted to love. Well...
Canberra, traffic 10322, heavy overhead, Razzie.
Just idle.
Flight level 200, descending on a Razzie 8 Alpha arrival. Estimated touchdown at Canberra, 05, Canberra traffic.
Now, I took a model, Gary Newman's, oh, you shit me. You took a model, Gary.
And Canberra traffic, Foxtrot Kilo Delta is also on this vent.
Gary Newman's ex.
We're on the Razzie.
Mate, I'll tell you, the...
arrival from a 35.
Oh, you bloody legend, mate.
Just passing now through flight level 201.
I'm speechless. I tell you now, Dave, I am speechless.
Canberra traffic, Foxtrot Kilo Delta, 322. We're also planning 35. I'll report sending through 10,000.
I gotta.
Canberra traffic.
Brizzy approach. Young Christian there's on line 124.7. I'll go to him. 124.7. Unicom's driving me nuts. Yeah, oh, sweet little, oh, jeez. That would have been brilliant. Oh, I'm dumbfounded, I'll tell you, that's just unbelievable. It was well worth the money. And back in those days, what'd you pay for the tickets? Probably about $40 or something. Mind, that was what year was that, by the way, Dave? Bumble Hive is better. Yeah, you got to say that. The Minister of War and Finance, as Sim calls him, the Minister of War and Finance. I love it. Anyhow, we're getting up there. Flight level 370. There's not much to do in the cruise. I can show you a few things. Cruise is pretty cruisy. Boom, boom. We just enjoy the scenery, I guess. That looks pretty good, pretty cool. Okay, so now hopefully I've sort of given you an idea of what you need to do on VATSIM, how you need to look at your flight plans. Make sure your flight plans are, what would be the right word? You make sure your SID, if you're doing your waypoints, your SID matches up with your waypoints and your star matches up with your waypoints. And believe me, if it looks funny, I guarantee it is funny. So if it just doesn't look right, I can guarantee it won't look right. Yeah, the 737, this is a 700, Dave. This is only the short body one. See, you can see it there. By the way, just in case you realise, this is not real time, by the way. What is it over there? Geez, it's probably 12 o'clock over there now. Yeah. So, let's just see. Gold Coast ATIS. And we've got Brizzy approach on. Yeah, so I was just, there's a guy, Sim, I told you, yeah, I'm thinking of doing a new house. My wife and I are looking for we're going to build a new house. It's a long story there, I won't go into it, but we're going to build, and I'm thinking of seriously putting a decent 172 simulator in there. I'm prepared to spend a few dollars. Oh, mate, you're on the first Pan Am. I remember when the 747 came into Perth, mate. It was like, it was the biggest news since sliced bread. Yeah, it was just a huge, and I saw this aircraft and I thought, what the, it was just like overawed with the whole thing. So, Dave, can I ask you, you've got a model girlfriend, you're on the 747. In those days, flights weren't cheap. Lunch with Jeff Thompson, come on now. Now you come on. I remember Jeff Thompson. Geez, you'd have to be my vintage, mate. You'd have to be, what, around the 60 mark? Was at lunch with Jeff Thompson. He was just for you younger people out there, he was the fast test bowler. He was a test bowler in the Australian cricket team. He was a fast bowler, had a very unusual the one I was on was the one in, there's a heart in the way, in Tenerife. The one I was on was the one in something Tenerife, 77 in Tenerife. 55, you were 20, how old were you then? I'm trying to remember, what happened is Tenerife, 77. Tenerife rings a bell, I should know this shit. Oh, shit, the airport disaster. What? Oh, I remember Whitney. Yeah, Tenerife 77, it was a huge disaster. Oh, Whitney, yeah, he had this, I remember Whitney had this fantastic curly, jet black curly hair. Dave Whitney, was it? I remember him. Anyhow, how far are we? A long way off top. Yeah, that's what I was going to show you guys. Okay, we're at flight level 370. Let's say, for example, you see progress page 1 of 4. If I go to next, hang on, or progress page, no, descent. I'll get it right in a minute. Okay, there it is. Cruise, I should know this. See, we're at flight level 370. Okay, it says here at the top of descent 140 nautical miles. Okay, let's say, for example, we want to see, well, what happens if we climb to flight level 370? Will that help us out as far as fuel economy? So let's say we put in 390 here, and the FMC works it out, and boom. It says by going up 2,000, you only save 0.1%. So is it worth it climbing up to 2,000 flight level 390, remembering that on the climb you've got to use more fuel, and so you're really not saving any. Well, it says now not saving anything. What about if we go down to flight level 350? We put flight level 350 there. Let's see what that does. Penalty. You're going to use 6% more fuel, because I would imagine at flight level 350, the winds aren't in your favour. If I look at the progress page here and I go to next, at the moment we've got a tailwind of 16 knots and we've got a crosswind from the left of 36 knots. So we can see that we're at our optimal altitude of flight level 370. Yes, I certainly do, mate. I certainly do. Oh, Michael Whitney. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I fly sometimes around Europe. Navigraph charts are, I'll just, because I'll hide the details, and I subscribe to Navigraph, which is, and the air is thicker lower down. Exactly, that's exactly right. So the flights, we'll unload that flight. We'll import our flight from SimBrief. Okay, there we are, that pink diamond there. And there we are there. So we're near Port Macquarie. So, we did the Awesome. Okay, now look at our charts and we're going to do the Bernie to Alpha arrival. So we'll have a look at that, and there it is there. So you can see that Aldex, if we can just maybe Aldex 9,000 feet. If you can see that. Aldex 9,000 feet and above. Vansu 7,000 feet. Rooney 5,000. We go to next page. We go Fickle between 4,000 and 5,000. Chook at 4,000 and above. Agtech 6,000 and below. Keegan 4,000. Actually doesn't say anything for Keegan, but we're going to do the approach, the RMP Zulu, which is that one there. Give it time to, and there it is there, Keegan at 4,000. So what I can do here, I can put in this, see that's initial approach fix Keegan 4,000. So what I can do is I can put in a hard altitude of 4,000 at Keegan. So that's the first thing you've got to check. Make sure you check all your charts. And now also on descent, I want to descend at 250, not 240, so I can do that. Yeah, so and missed approach is 3,000. Okay, so all right, so I think we're all sort of all okay. I use ChartFox because it's free and I don't find VATs in, but I'm learning. Yeah, I hope that this is sort of, yeah, I know, yeah. Little nav map, yeah, be careful about that. Little nav map is primarily VFR, don't use it solely, and talk of the devil. Okay, be careful. I should be down there somewhere. Oh, what am I saying? I should be going the other way. My position should be a yellow. There I am. There I am. Yeah, this is really more of a VFR planner rather than an IFR. SimBrief is your best bet, but especially in fuel management, but yeah, just be careful. Forecast QNH. Yeah, did I not do that? I got the winds. Yep. Now, let's have a look. Gold Coast ATIS 134.5. We're nowhere near top of descent. But we best get ourselves 134.5.
Noise abatement and curfew procedures. Wind 060 degrees, 12 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometers. Cloud broken 2,100 feet. Overcast 2,400 feet. Overcast 3,700 feet.
Oh.
Temperature 27. QNH 1013. On first contact with Gold Coast ground or approach, notify receipt of information, Charlie.
Wind 060.
Gold Coast terminal information, Charlie. Jets, expect instrument approach. Runway 14. Noise abatement and curfew procedures.
Okay. Oh, it's getting a little bit cloudy. Ooh, Now the thing is, what I forgot to do, when you get to flight level, I forgot to change my angle of bank down to 10 degrees. Now I'm not sure why you do that, but it's what you do. Yeah, you've got, yeah, it's always better to use SimBrief, but once again, be careful how you use it. Oh, top of descent's coming up, and that's about 60 miles. Okay, first of all, now let's say runway 14. So, first of all, like what I like to do is I go to the fixed page and runway 14, and we're going to put now. Let's have a look at the situation in Gold Coast, and we'll have a look at the weather, and it's marginal VFR, okay, MVFR. So what we're going to do is we're going to put like a 5-mile ring, and I'll tell you why in a minute, and we're going to put a 10-mile ring around runway 14. Okay, so why 5 miles? And it's sort of marginal VFR, IFR. You put a 5-mile ring because you basically, at that point, you want to have flaps 30. You want to be configured to land, so you want to be doing your VREF speed or your speed VREF plus 5, depends on your winds, of course, and you want to be fully configured. At 10 miles, you want to be really a flaps 5, sorry. And at 5 miles, you want to be at flaps 30 and fully configured. So there, you'll see as we're getting into Gold Coast, you'll see that. So it's sort of like a heads up, and it gives you an indication of what you should do and when you should do it. So if you sort of remember that, 10 miles, you should be at flaps 5, and at 5 miles, actually I should really do a 4 mile ring because it's, no, marginal VFR, I'll do a 5 mile, yeah, no, 5 is fine. So, is there a 4 at the terminal? Is there? I had to read that. Try. No. Is there a 4X waiting at the terminal for you? Yeah, I'll tell you. I'm not a 4X is not really high on my beers, mate. Yeah, 4X is not really. Yeah, I'm not really favouring the 4X. Okay, so we have a look, and opposite. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so I am Joel. Hey, Joel. Oh, geez. How you going? Yes, I am on VATSIM, mate. Trying to make sort of a video where newbies on VATSIM, or you sort of wanting to come on VATSIM and don't know quite what to do. Well, I've sort of done this stream just to get you started and sort of get to Chardonnay, hey? Yeah, well, no, I'll tell you, which beers do I like? I don't mind the old Peroni. Peroni's. So what have you been doing yourself, Joel? I saw you sometimes controlling. I'm on the Xanax. I've got the tranquilizers. I've had my Chardonnay. Now I'm getting ready for the tranquilizers, because I better get my shit together with the top of the scent. Hang on. Where are we? What am I doing? Why am I here? Okay, what are we? QNH 1013. So let's set the QNH. So what we're trying to do is, see down there, set the QNH to 1013. It's hard to see probably, but 1013. Okay, so Aviation Chris. Oh, it doesn't matter. Aviation Chris, while I got you, do I contact you? Are you going to cover Gold Coast? Because Brizzy Approach is on 124.7. Oh, sleeping's not a problem for me, mate. Oh, jeez. And I have about 3 coffees a day, and I sleep not a problem. What I'll do is I'll go down to 9,000 initially. $9,000. Yes, standard procedure. Oh, good, mate. You're a legend. You're a legend. And now let's have a look at our. Okay, thanks, Chris. I've got your thing. Let's have a look. 139. Okay, and down to 4,000. So 139 course. 139. So we set our course to 139. And we set our both course to 139. Oh shit, what am I doing? We're going to go down to 10,000. Heading is set. Legs, nav, ILS frequency, not doing ILS, doing an RNAV. Landing altitude, yes, that's what I need to look at. We're down to LNAV, actual area QNH. So we're going to get the area QNH actual 570, so we round that up about 600. So put in the minimums. Okay, so we've got the mins there. And please contact me on 134. What is it? 134.2.
In 2,600 feet, overcast 4,200 feet, temperature 27, QNH 1012. On first contact with Gold Coast ground or approach, notify receipt of information Delta.
Brisbane Centre, good day, velocity 539 with you, flight level 370.
Velocity 539, good day, squawk 1239.
1239 in the box, velocity 539. You think it, how hard is it? And I just realised what I did wrong. One, 2, 3, 9. How come I can't get one? Brizzy Centre, velocity 539.
Velocity 539.
I have a slight problem here. For whatever reason, I can't get 1239 in the box.
No worries, stand by.
Say again, sir?
Just stand by one.
Why can't I get this one?
Velocity 539, try squawk 4005.
4005. That works.
Velocity 539, you're identified. Cleared Gold Coast. Star is the Bernie 2 Alpha arrival. Expect the ILS runway 14 when ready, descend 9000. QNH 1012.
Roger, clear the Bernie 2 Alpha arrival runway 14, QNH 1012, and we're for the RNAV Zulu approach into 14, sir.
Velocity 539, you can expect the RNAV Zulu for runway 14.
RNAV Zulu, runway 14, thanks. Okay, so we got the 10 mile. So once I'd like to put, and as we get closer to the approach, I sort of, these range rings I like to, but we're on descent. I shouldn't have descended before he gave us the descent. So, but I had to, because I contacted him after. I should have said to him actually on descent to 9,000 rather than. Dave, yes, thanks, mate. Yeah, I know aviation. I know the upper. Yeah, there is an ILS, but I want to do the RNAV. ILS is just like boring. There's more work to do the RNAV. I hope you can do that. Oh, mate, please don't put that pressure on me. God. Oh, jeez. Okay, what I've got to do is charts, DAPS, Gold Coast. What are we doing, RNAV Zulu? Okay. Yeah, I hope I can land this thing. All right, so let's have a look here. This is basically how many times, and please, whoever, if you're listening, many times I've said velocity, blah, 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 advise indicate airspeed, and they'll come back and they'll say Mach 0.67 or they'll go 260. Well, this is your indicated airspeed here, 263, that's your indicated. But you know how many pilots sort of wonder or how to work it out? I mean, there it is on the speed tape. I had one guy the other day, and it was like crickets, the sound of crickets. There it is there. This figure here is what the MC or the FMC commands. It commands you to go to do 260, but we're actually doing 263 because I think we've got a bit of a tailwind. So whatever's in the purple or magenta, I should say, is what the actual, I should have this on legs, is what the FMC commands. So at the moment we've commanded this to only go down to 9,000. We have to go down any lower. So that's what, and you'd be surprised how many people don't know that. It's like, you know, it's not that hard. This is our descent rate, by the way. Yeah, just get to know your aircraft, or know the fundamentals at least, anyhow. Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, I've got the tranquilizers right here, mate, ready to go. I don't want to jinx myself, but now QNH 1013. Have I got everything right? Let me just try to get ahead of the aircraft. Brisbane approach 124.7, which 124. Okay, so yeah, get to know your aircraft. This is your profile, of course. See that white little thing here, and your purple. This is where you're meant to be, that magenta diamond. This is where you are. So you can see straight away you're just above, and now we're coming back on profile beautifully. So you can tell straight away just at a glance if that white little rectangle is above this magenta, you mean you're high on profile. If you're below on profile. So at a glance, and then this tells you here RMP is required navigational performance to do this type of approach, but we've got an actual of 128. So we're well within our. This is our lateral. Our vertical navigation requirements, and this is our lateral. So on laterally we're required of an RMP of 2, but we've actually got 0.05, so we're very, very accurate. And this obviously laterally has to have a smaller tolerance than the vertical. because with flight paths, you're sort of crossing aircraft, you know, they could be 10 miles. You don't want to have too big of a lateral tolerance, otherwise there's you know, a probability, or there's a good, you want to have a tighter lateral tolerance than you have a vertical tolerance. Okay, so now, big question, and you think to yourself, with the RNAV, there's two things you've got to remember. You've got to take over the speed of the aircraft, and there's another thing too. They say, well, when do you put in the flaps? When you see here, see how you got 250/10,000. When you see that change to flaps, that's when you put in your flaps. That's what I've been taught, and it works a charm. Oh, so you want to be a politician, do you, Joel? Well, good luck, mate. I wish you all the best, if that's what you want to do. Yeah, I wish you all the very best. Yeah, politics can be a little bit grubby, I think, but hey, it's community service, and you do what you think is best. Oh, well, good luck anyhow. Whereabouts, what, obviously on the East Coast, but whereabouts? What council? Well, what is it? Lincoln went for president 5 times before he...
43539, contact approach 124.7, g'day.
Over to 124.7, g'day, thanks for the service, cheers. Brisbane approach, g'day, velocity 539, on descent to 9,000. .7, yeah.
Velocity 539, good evening. Expect the RMP Zulu approach runway 14, descend 9,000, via the star QNH 1012.
Down to 9,000, QNH 1012, velocity 539, thanks. Okay, so let's get this range rings in. We can actually bring that out by 10. I'll keep it 20. We're going to go through these clouds. What's the temperature? 19 with no icing conditions. Don't worry about it. They're all good. You know how you get a funny feeling? We're going to land a runway 14. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I knew it. Progress. Fuel. 2.5, 2.6, 0.1, 51.5. That's our landing weight. So that's what I forgot to do. I knew that. You know, you get this funny feeling. You think, oh, geez, I forgot something. So we're approaching 10,000. We've got no icing conditions. Clinton was fun, the Monaco affair. I'm voting for him again. Oh, Southern Down. Oh, Queensland. Okay. Yeah, a bit of cloud.
3539, descend via the star 6000.
By the star 6000, velocity 539. Okay, now we're going through the transition level, which is flight level 110. We're going to go to local QNH. VREF 139. Hang on, have a look. '26, 131. Doesn't seem right. We got. Okay. Okay, we go on standard, put our landing lights on. We can, oops, sorry. We go up to, I don't think, I should have put my fasten seat belts on. I should have put them on auto before. That's all right.
Velocity 539, descend via the star 5000, QNH 1012.
By the star 5000, velocity 539. You can see I'm way above the profile there.
Velocity 539, descend via the star 4000, cancel speed below 10.
5 star 4000, say again the last part, sir?
Cancel speed below 10.
Cancel speed below 10, velocity 539, thanks. I don't know why he said that, but there's no other. Okay, well, let me have a look. As soon as I take over I'm way high on profile, 600 feet, but, and mate, the weather's a bit shit. So after Keegan, just after Keegan, I'll put the altitude down to about 700, I think, 600, 700. 700 actually, should be 700. Put flaps 1.
Velocity 539, descend by star 3000.
Confirm via 3000.
3000.
So I'm for the RNAV Zulu, sir.
Ollie's from, do you have the intersection pod?
Stand by, sir.
Velocity 539, declared the RMP approach Zulu runway 14.
Clear the RMP Zulu 14, velocity 539. And I'm too high on profile. Ah, you bloody thing. Oh well, I might have to land this. Geez, the shit conditions at Gold Coast. Jeez. All right. I'm too high. Shit. Bugger me.
2500.
Yeah, too high. Yeah, way too high. 4 whites. There's the Gold Coast. Anyhow, it looks fantastic. Yep. And I'm fast descending. I'm not really. Let's see how we go. I might be okay, actually.
1000. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Velocity 539, runway 14, clear to land.
14 clear to land, velocity 539.
500. 400. 300. 200. 100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Well, that was all right, actually. Actually, the Gold Coast is brilliant. Look at that. That's brilliant.
Velocity 539, vacate Delta, Bay of Choice. Welcome to Gold Coast.
Thank you very much for your service, sir, and fantastic ATC. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, there's the Gold Coast, and I thought I was going to stuff that up, but I actually recovered that. I was really high on profile. And I'm not sure what gate I'm going, but anyhow, I'll go over here. We'll turn these off. There's a shitload of things to do. Strobes are steady. Oh, shit. Anyhow, I think that will... I'm pretty happy with that. Oh, there's my girlfriend waiting there. Oh, shit, that's a guy. Oops. I'm pretty happy with that. I've got to clean up the aircraft. But I'm pretty happy with that. I thought that was...
All stations, Brisbane approach is now shutting down for the evening. One did you come now 122 days from me?
I'm pretty happy about that, how that all went. Thanks for the guys. Thanks for guys for the centre. I'd like to see what I landed at. Okay. Pretty good. Yeah, let them walk. Yep. Yeah, good bit of the old speed bake. But I'm very happy. And just have a look at the Gold Coast. I bought this the other day. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Sorry about the noise, guys. See, that looks all right. Look at that. Gee, that looks great. That looks fantastic. If you could see that, I think I land. Ooh, I should be up here somewhere. These wheels should be up here somewhere. Well. Anyhow, I'm extremely happy about that. I'd like to see what my landing rate is at. And like I said, I think that'll end the stream, guys. I'll clean up the aircraft. I'll shut it down. I'll see what my landing rate is. And until next time, thank you for joining me. I hope that was partially educational and partially entertaining. Once again, thanks for the guys for being on the stream. I know it's late over the East Coast. I really appreciate it, guys. If I can do some further ones to sort of help people understand how it all operates in the VATSIM world, well, but yeah,